Welcome to Somewhat Awesome Films. My name's Jared, and today I'm going to be reviewing Silver Linings Playbook, directed by David O. Russell, the same guy that directed The Fighter and Three Kings, so he's got a little bit of credibility behind his name, and this time he's decided to make a romance, drama, comedy film. But lucky for you guys out there, this isn't your usual romance comedy movie that you've been forced to watch by your girlfriend and sort of cry yourself the entire time while you're sitting next to her. This one, if anything, is a little bit more of a drama piece, and it's got those kind of romance comedy elements sort of hidden into it, so it makes it a little bit more enjoyable. Not surprisingly, because the lead character in this one is Bradley Cooper, the same guy from The Hangover, and he plays the character Pat. And Pat has just got out of a mental institution, so he's a little bit nuts. And turns out he's got bipolar, and he just loses it quite easily. And with his previous wife, Nikki, turns out she was actually cheating on him, and, well, not surprisingly, he decided to beat the crap out of the guy who she was cheating on him with. Didn't work out well for him because he was arrested and then sort of chucked into this mental institution. But luckily, he's out now, and his parents are nice folks, and they've decided to bring him back in and kind of help him through it. And his parents are played by Robert De Niro and Jacki Weaver. And once again, Robert De Niro absolutely nails his role as an old kind of semi-grumpy guy and with a bit of a gambling problem as well in this film. And there's a little bit of tension in the house. They're always kind of yelling at each other. The parents are finding it really difficult to look after their son Pat because he's nuts, let's face it. And all he wants to do is get back with his ex-wife Nikki, who has a restraining order against him. So going to be a little bit hard for him. Along the way, he runs into Tiffany, played by Jennifer Lawrence. Now, she's the one out of The Hunger Games and also played Mystique in X-Men First Class. And this is where it gets a little bit interesting for a romance comedy because Jennifer Lawrence, Tiffany, is a little bit nuts as well. So she's had some issues in her life where her ex-husband is kind of dead. And yeah, she lost a little bit and turns out she went into a little bit of a slutty state, which is not a bad thing, but I guess other people think it is bad. Bradley Cooper doesn't seem to mind too much, and he befriends her in the hope of getting back with his ex-wife. And they go on this kind of adventure together where Jennifer Lawrence's character, Tiffany, is going to help Pat get back with his ex. But it all seems a little bit of a disaster the entire time because they're at each other's throats, the parents at each other's throats the entire time. You're kind of sitting there thinking, Pat, you're a crazy motherfucker. Your wife's probably not going to want you back after you nearly killed her lover. And you've been in jail for 8 months as well, which is never that great a thing. But anyway, he keeps trying. Tiffany keeps helping him, and they make a deal where they're going to do a dance together. And don't want to give anything away, but Pat may or may not fall in love with Tiffany at the end, and that's the kind of romance thing along the way. But, you know, you can sort of find that out for yourself when you watch the film. Other than that, it was actually quite a funny film, very slow going. The first 30 minutes of it, or probably 20 minutes maybe, I was a little bit bored shitless. You kind of had to sit there, listen intently to what all the characters were saying, try and figure out what's going on, and they really try and hide things from you. So I'm quite happy to tell you from the word go that Jennifer Lawrence's husband got hit by a car and Bradley Cooper got put into prison because he beat up his ex-wife's lover. So, because that really annoyed me, I had to sit through 20 minutes of that not knowing what was going on. I understand the director's intent. They were trying to kind of keep you guessing, but I really didn't give a shit, to be honest. I just wanted to kind of get to the point of the movie. But then after about 20 or 30 minutes, it started to actually get pretty interesting and funny as well. And not really in-your-face comedy funny. It was a little bit more subtle. You can imagine having a dysfunctional family like this yourself and having some crazy guy that you got to kind of deal with, but you do your best. And Robert De Niro's character, which was Pat's dad, he did his best. Downside was he had a bit of a gambling problem. It probably didn't really help his son, so it made for a great family dynamics in the movie, which sort of gave you some cheap laughs at their expense. But it was really good progression because you see Pat, he starts to get a little bit better, and when he's doing this sort of dance routine with Tiffany, he has some kind of meaning towards him. And in the end, I'm just going to say it all kind of works out for him. Look, I really enjoyed this movie, like I said, because it wasn't your typical sort of sit-through absolute mushy shit the entire time. It was a kind of realistic situation. I've known crazy people that have gotten out of mental institutions and wanted to, get back with their ex-wife because they nearly killed their lover. But, so I can kind of relate to people like that. No, not really. Doesn't really happen that way, but it's still funny to imagine anyway. I reckon it's worth going to see. If you got a girlfriend, definitely take them with, because I'm sure they'll love this film, and it's probably not the kind of film you're going to want to go see with your mates and have some beers afterwards. So you might find it a little bit boring if that's the case, but definitely worth a watch. Chris Tucker was in it as well, playing the character Danny, also another crazy guy. A lot of crazy people in this film, and he was great for some sort of random laughs throughout the time. And I hadn't really seen him in a movie for ages now as well, and he's looking a little bit older, but he's still got it. Go check it out. I would say so far as to give this an 8 out of 10, which is actually quite a high score for me in like romance comedies, because I don't usually like them that much. But those other 2 points, I'll kind of flatten it down, because there were some slow parts, like I said at the start, and there were some other random questions which weren't really answered, like why did Tiffany suddenly know everything about football, which she really didn't care about for the entire film, and then randomly she really wanted Pat's dad to make a bet. Like, why? Why do you even care? And at the end, Pat whispers something into Nikki's ear, which is his ex-wife, if you've forgotten. What the hell did he whisper? The little clip went on for like 30 seconds. I got no idea what he said, so I'm sure there was some extended scenes that were cut out of it, but I'm not in a hurry to go buy the Blu-ray and find out what they are. But some of those unanswered questions kind of shit me off a little bit, but overall, excellent movie, 8 out of 10. Check it out, see what you think, and leave some comments, and thanks for listening to my review.